Okay. This month is June of 2009. The reason for me doing this video is basically a tribute to my dad. He will be gone 13 years this month, on the 19th of June, 2009. I'd like to say, I knew a lot about my dad, but I didn't. I was 7, almost 8, when he passed. I never really had a relationship with him. He wasn't around. He had another family, and so basically my mom raised me. I'd like to think that if Dad had been around, I would be a different person. Somehow, I don't really know, but I do know a couple of things. I know that I love him, and I miss him. Even though I didn't know him real well, I miss him every day. I just wonder how things would be different if I would have been a different person, if I would have been a different kid, different teenager, and then eventually, a different young adult. I don't, what if too much, because I understand that I can't change what has already happened, but I do wonder. I think every kid wonders what it would have been like for their mom and dad to have been together. But I say if my mom and dad were together, my sister wouldn't be here. I do have a half-sister, and I have a half-brother. I don't see them as much as I'd like, or my brother at all, but my sister, it's more or less my fault right now, because her mom opened the door. She let me meet her, and then finally, I don't think she even knew I existed for most of her life, but she knows I do now. And I think, it's more or less my fault right now, because I don't want to get close to her, because she has a life, she has parents, she has brothers. She doesn't have a sister. I'm her only sister, but I don't know. But, I dream about my dad a lot. I do not remember his voice from in person, but when I dream about him and he talks to me in my dreams, I know it's him. For the simple fact that I recognize the voice to some extent. I can't remember ever hearing it. I know I have. I have one thing from him. One proof or so that he was with me for a little bit. This is the worst picture ever of me, but it's me and my daddy. It's old. Picture is very old. And I say I was about 3 or 4. And I have a letter. Well, I did. I still do. It's put up. That my dad wrote my mama when he was in jail. It was from my mama. But, he talks about how he wants me to be raised right. And how he wants me to be taken care of. And so that makes me feel a little bit better about things. I love my daddy. I really do wish he was here with me, but at the same time, I knew if he was, there'd always be looming drama with, his other family and me. I don't know exactly where I'd fit into that. So, but yeah. I don't know my dad's birthday. I'm sure Mom has told me, but I do not remember. So I can't tell you exactly how old he'd be. Mama says he was older than her, so I bet he's like 42, maybe 43. But I can't help but wonder how things would be different. And I know he's with me. He's with me every time I feel the wind. I think of him as it runs, through my hair. I think of my daddy. Little things, spark me to think about him. I have a couple pictures. I have his old, Mom's annuals, her yearbooks that he was in. I hold on to the little things I do have. I cherish what I do have of him because my sister didn't know him, and I at least did for a little bit. So I think I'm lucky on that aspect, but it still really isn't the same. There are a couple songs that remind me of him. There's the new Black Stone Cherry song, Things My Father Said. I want so badly just for everything to be okay sometimes, and for him to be here and me wake up and feel like my life never was without him. But that's not feasible. That's not reality. And that song, and any Kid Rock song really, because I think Dad would loved it. Especially that song Low Life from Kid Rock. It just reminds me of my dad. And if I hear a certain country song or something, it sparks me, I think Dad would like that, or a part of me will just be overjoyed and think that Dad would have loved it. And every time I see a horse, it reminds me of Dad, because Dad loved horses. But I cherish the little things I have. And I guess I'm going to stop this. I don't know how long that's gone, but I just wanted to say that if you have someone in your life that is really important to you, do not ever take them for granted. Through the loss of my dad, I have gained this wonderful relationship with my mom that I may have never had. Me and Mom are super close because I didn't have a father. And I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to her. I'd completely go crazy. But she's usually my driving force for anything I do. And when I walk the line in December when I graduate, I'm going to know that my dad's right there with me, walking with me. I like to think that he walks with me everywhere I go. He's with me everywhere. He never leaves me. I think, God gives you a guardian angel, and mine on earth is my mom's. But I do believe one of the reasons I'm still alive through all my turmoil, all the overdoses, all the suicide wishes and trying to kill myself, I think that one of the main reasons that I'm alive is because of my dad and my mama. But I am going to show you what I keep looking at behind me, and then I'm going to cut the video. That picture right there is what I stare at constantly. The one in the red, kneeling, is my dad. The one with his arm around my dad is my Uncle Mark. Up above them, left to right, in the pinkish red, is my Uncle Ricky. Beside him is my Uncle James. Beside him is my Uncle Dole. And then my Grandpa Jr. I think this picture is at least, say Dad's been gone 13 years, I think it's at least between 15 and 20 years old. But, yeah. It's crazy, I know. Real crazy. But maybe even older than that. I have no clue. But I stare at that constantly. So, but I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for listening.